What is up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome actor Rolando Molina. Man, how's it going, bro?
What's up, everybody? And what's up, man? Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, anytime, man. For everybody else, man, tell them who you are, man. Tell the
Oh,
people.
shoot. Hold on a second. My light just went out on me. Uh, can you see me okay? You can see me okay, right?
Yeah, I can see you good.
Yeah, I don't know why the light went out on me. But you want to know who I am?
Yeah, for the audience to know who you are.
There we go. So my name is Rolando Molina. I've been an actor and filmmaker going on 33 years. That would be this August 6th of 2024. So, I've been around for a minute, and my secret to success is longevity in the industry. You
Yeah,
know,
longevity, but you were born in El Salvador, huh?
that is correct.
People mistake them as Mexicans. I knew a couple Salvadorians that kind of get offended by that shit. Like, no, we're not. It's different.
Now, I've never been that kind of guy to get offended by that. I've always been confused as a Mexican, but my father, he's actually Mexican. But I don't tell too many people this, but he's actually my stepfather. But he's the only father I've ever had. I never met my biological father, so therefore, he's my dad. And so I feel like I'm half and half already, anyways, because my Mexican cousins, I've hung out with them. My Salvadoran cousins, I've hung out with them, and I've had to adapt to each family cousins because from my dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family, because the dialect's different, and the Mexican Spanish is different from the Salvadoran Spanish. So, but it's been fun, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, what really started you in the acting business, man?
What started me in the acting business, man? That's a good question. Actually, it was a actor by the name of River Phoenix who inspired me. And what I mean by that is that I saw a film he did when he was probably about 13, 14 years old, and the film name was Stand By Me. Rob Reiner directed it back in 1984, I want to say. And at the time, I was around the same age. And his performance in that film, there was a particular scene where he actually broke down and cried, and he made me cry. And let me tell you something, no other actor has ever made me cry on any film that I've ever seen. And I've grown up watching movies all the time. I just love the industry. And he made me cry. And at that very moment, that's when I realized, I said, you know what, that's what I want to do. I want to move people like that. I want to make people feel what I felt, when I did that. And when I saw that movie. So River Phoenix is the one that I credit with planting the mustard seed in me wanting to become an actor.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, sometimes those are the influence that kind of get you in the business. So it has to be a certain individual. So he was one of those guys, and then he made it seem believable. So
yeah, exactly.
So the one guy who got you in the business actually got you to start on this movie, American Me, man. So it's like, what was the experience like working with those guys, and what was the fun part about this movie?
This right here, this movie right here.
Yeah.
That poster is actually autographed by Edward James Olmos himself. Yes, Edward James Olmos, I credit this man with giving me my career because he believed in me when nobody else would, and he gave me the opportunity of a lifetime when he had me audition for his film American Me. At the time, I was a security guard at Universal Studios, and the reason I was a security guard there is because I had purposely looked for a job at a studio just to try and figure out how to become an actor. And lo and behold, one day I end up meeting Edward James Olmos. He comes to my gate, and I tell him that I'm a huge fan, and that I'm an aspiring actor, and hope to be in his footsteps one day, leading his footsteps one day. And, shortly after that, a couple of weeks, he was just barely beginning pre-production on his film American Me. He asked his casting director to come through the gate one day and ask me if I wanted to audition to play one of the cops. And I was like, oh, I've never done anything before, but I'm down, and yeah, man, that man gave me the opportunity of a lifetime, audition for it. and I ended up booking the part.
Oh yeah, and the rest was history from there. I mean, you did work as a security guard as a Universal Studios, so it had a little relate to the part of being a cop, but it's just a different high level of the authority.
Well, that's actually one of the reasons why he asked me to, because he sent his casting director over to the gate to ask me if I wanted to audition. And the reason was because he was looking for a Latino to play a cop, but he liked the way I looked in my security guard uniform. So that's what kind of started his interest in me auditioning for it. And just to give me the opportunity, to see if I had the chops. And apparently I did enough. Although when I look back at this film and I watch myself, I cringe. I'm not going to lie.
So you're a little bit of a critic. Okay.
Well, you know what? Actually, every actor, we have a saying. All actors say the same thing. We say we are our own worst critics because we look at our performances and we're constantly judging it and nitpicking at it and dissecting it, and it's like, oh, I should have done that, I should have done this, should have, could have, would have. But at the end of the day, the producers that hired us, they like what we did. They put it on film, they put it on television, and the check clears. That's all that matters at this point now,
Yeah, making the money and getting your first break, but it kind of resulted from 10 cast members died from this movie.
Yeah, I heard that, but as far as I know, there's only been a couple because of all the controversy surrounding the film. And, of course, the film was a very gritty, real look at the Mexican mafia, which is kind of like what a lot of these Italian filmmakers like Scorsese and De Niro and Pesci, they've all done with the Italian mafia. They've actually kind of let out a lot of secrets. But although I don't think they have the repercussions that the filmmakers of this film did with the Mexican mafia. They were not that. They definitely weren't happy at the time that they released so much information in the film about the way that things are run in the prison and outside of the prison and all that. So there was repercussions because of it, and some of the cast members. One of them that I know of was the lady that played the mother to Santana's love interest. And she used to, I believe, from my understanding, she was a gang counselor at the time. And I guess they didn't like the fact that she had contributed to the film. And I heard she was murdered in front of her own home.
Yeah, it's just terrible. Like, even for an acting, I guess it comes down to that kind of a controversial at the end of the day. I mean, but it had to be one of the biggest movies at one point, where you guys were doing that movie. And then there was another movie that came to mind, but I don't know if this was legit because I've seen these questions asked before. But you were supposed to play the original Friday as Hector, if my understanding.
Actually, you did your research, my guy. Yeah. So I actually booked that role. I ended up booking that role of Hector in the first Friday film. Those of you that don't know, Hector is the guys in the lowriders like, yo, Smokey! And Smokey's like, F you, Hector, no, And they go to the flashback of him smoking with him, and, there's PCP in it or whatever. Anyways, so I booked that role, but unfortunately at the time, well, kind of fortunately, actually, now that I think about it, I had booked a television show, and it was actually not even a small role. It's just a one-liner, but I had already signed the contracts with, and this was a Warner Brothers Studios TV show. So I had already signed the contracts, and I was working Monday, Tuesday, and shooting in front of a live studio audience on Wednesday. When I got the call from Friday production wanting to hire me, my agent told me that they wanted to start me on Wednesday. And I told her, I said, listen, they're going to have to, push the date because I'm working this until Wednesday. Well, you can let that go. We can get you out of it. I go, no. I signed the contract already, I said. And the one thing that my parents always instilled in me was a good work ethic, especially my dad. My dad always used to say, Mijo, make sure you always finish what you start. And if you're going to do a job, do it to the best of your ability or don't do it at all. And finishing what I started is the reason why I'm here. Because when I turned that down, and believe me, it hurt. It hurt to turn it down. Because number one, it was more money. Number two, I knew it was with Ice Cube. I didn't know how successful Friday was going to be. The first Friday, I didn't even know it was going to turn into a franchise, and let alone a cult classic. So then fast forward, to 1997, 98, 98. I get a call from my agent talking about, hey, there's a new Ice Cube film and they want you to come in. And I said, a new Ice Cube film? Wow, it's actually a sequel to the first Friday. I'm like, wait, what? Are you serious? Yeah, all right. So I got the audition. I went to casting office. I walked in and everybody's like, DJ Pooh's there, Ice Cube's there, and pretty much all he said was, look, you can audition if you want, but you don't need to. We already know what you can do. We loved you in the first one, and you turned us down. I go, I'm sorry. I already had – no, they go, we heard that you had a commitment and you stuck to your guns, and we respect you for that. So we just brought you in to let you know that you got the part already. I was like, damn.
Man, they had to give you that respect for that, yeah.
Bro, karma, I believe in karma, bro. But karma's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you do people wrong, karma's going to come back and bite you in the ass, you know? So that's why I do the best I can to not piss people off and not do people wrong, you know what I mean? Especially in this industry. So.
Yeah, you honor their contracts and then you go from there. But what was it like just from meeting Ice Cube? Was he just like one of those guys that just kind of like a
You know what? The funny thing is that I realized the moment I met him why he calls himself Ice Cube. Because that mofo is cool as a cube. That dude, the way you see his persona on interviews and stuff like that, that's really him. He's not putting up a front. He's just a chill, laid-back dude. And I remember having a conversation with him on set, and he's like, I told him that I've been a big fan of Ice Cube and NWA and all that and all his music. And he mentioned to me that, what's funny is that the essays are the ones that come to see my concerts more than my own people. And he calls us essays, and I thought that was, yeah, no, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? But, he's an icon, man. And to have been a part of his franchise and to work with him and actually talk to him and, celebrate his birthday with him on set by taking a shot of tequila and downing a Rolling Rock beer right before I had to be on set. Because he said so. He's like, hey, yo, man, my trailer's got tequila. And I'm like, all right. So he pretty much told me to. But, yeah, it was a real honor meeting him. And actually, can you guys see that back there?
Yeah, there's a picture of Ice Cube on the other side. Oh, this right here?
Let me share this. You're talking about that one. I'm talking about this photo that I got. Now, guys, this is a throwback, okay? This is right after we finished filming next Friday. Okay. And we were at the rap party where everybody was drinking, everybody was having a good time, including myself and including Cube. And I asked him to take a picture with me, and this is what came out.
All right, let me try to put it into the share screen where I can just put you into a... Oh, okay, I guess you got it good. You're right there, and he's right there.
But you see how twisted we are?
Yeah, you guys are up there. You're like, oh, we're having fun or something like that. Like, he's that kind of guy. Like, yeah.
We were so twisted, bro, and I didn't even remember taking that photo. And this is back then when you still had the film camera, so you had to wait till you developed them.
Different era, yeah.
Different era, bro. And you would think, bro, I couldn't believe it. I saw that picture. I had to frame it, man. I was like, I'm even thinking about blowing it up.
Yeah, you should, like, definitely. But I know that you had some work scenes with Jacob Vargas before, like even on American Me. But what was it like working with him on Next Friday, man? You guys had some good chemistry.
Let me tell you, Jacob, me, and my boy Lobo Sebastian, bro, we became real brothers on the set. We're the type of brothers that it doesn't matter. A decade can pass, and when we see each other, it's all love once again. We've hung out many, many times afterwards. I know his family. I know his daughters. Jacob is just a real, genuine guy. And the other thing is, him and I both Leos. Our birthdays are only about, I think, is like 5 days apart. And, and he's just, every success that he's had, he's deserved because he's such a good dude. He definitely deserves all the success he's had. But I love Jacob. That's my brother.
Yeah. Very underrated actor too. Doesn't get really much recognition for the work he puts in. Like he even played the Cesar Chavez character, which is very iconic.
Well, Jacob, I think you're talking about Michael Pena, who played Cesar Chavez.
I think it's one.
Yeah. But Jacob's been in many. He played the brother of Selena in the movie Selena.
Oh yeah, that was another one I've heard of. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jacob has actually he is known in the industry as far as production and casting directors, just the way I am. But yeah, if you would say he's an underrated actor, I think I'm even more of an underrated actor, and that's what one critic said, at least in one of his reviews. But Jacob works, though. That my boy works. You know, he was on he was on Mr. Iglesias with Gabriel Iglesias on Netflix. You know, so Jacob he was on Sons of Anarchy for a while. Actually, cute little trivia. All three of the Joker brothers were on SOA on Sons of Anarchy. Oh, so, but Jacob had the longest run because he was a recurring character on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors, but when you saw how Lobo did as an actor, I never knew he had some different looks of appearance. Like he even did on The Longest Yard. He looked like kind of like a ripoff of Mr. T with a different version.
Let me tell you, Lobo is a true chameleon when it comes to playing characters. I try to do the same thing. I try to look as different as possible and play my characters as different as possible. But Lobo takes it to another level where his physical appearance. I remember shortly after we shot Next Friday, he booked a movie with Jacob called Road Dogs. And yeah, Road Dogs and Dogs with a Z at the end. Check it out, guys. It's a great film. Anyways, they both invited me to go on set and check it out and hang out with them. Lobo literally shaved his eyebrows, and put tattoos above them, and you know, and he looks crazy in that movie. But it fit his character. It really brought a different dimension to his character. He's gone as far as playing detectives, and he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, where he played a Jesus worshiper, and then he, believe it or not, he was on a movie called Lep in the Hood, Leprechaun 4. Lep in the Hood. Yeah, and he played a drag queen in that. Lobo, bro. And the last thing that I saw him, the big thing, he did a movie with Clint Eastwood called The Mule. And let me tell you, Lobo killed it again, bro. He's such a chameleon that you've seen his work, you just don't realize it's him when you've seen it.
Yeah, that's why the difference. You would just think it's somebody else. But when I saw The Longest Yard, I'm like, was that him the whole time?
Yep, that was him the whole time, man.
He looked like a rip-off of Mr. T with just a little bit of the style where he's.
Well, that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted the mohawk, and when he was telling me about it, I told him, dude, that sounds dope. And then the goatee, the way he's got it sharpened, it's kind of like lightning bolt type of thing, you know. And I got to go on the set of The Longest Yard too with Lobo. I met Nelly. I actually got my Nelly CDs autographed by Nelly. And met Burt Reynolds and all that. So it was cool. I mean, we tend to go to each other's shoots quite often. So
yeah, it had to be pretty cool to meet somebody like Burt Reynolds, a legend of this business, man.
Absolutely. But the biggest legend that I ever met was William Shatner.
Oh yeah, he is like Hollywood's legend, all that.
Oh my God, Bill Shatner. I was. The only time I've ever been starstruck working with another actor would have to be with Bill Shatner, because he is such an icon in the industry that, I mean, he's the hardest working man in Hollywood. He's still working till this day, and he's almost 92 years old.
Yeah, at that age, you would think they would call it quits and just.
Yeah, no, he's still going. He's the hardest working man in Hollywood, literally.
I mean, there's some actors who still do it, so it's just like maybe they just don't have it in them to quit, you know, for some of them. But like some of them have to step away with health reasons, like Bruce Willis, a great actor, very successful in the business.
Yeah, that's a sad story right there with Bruce Willis. What's even sadder is Robin Williams' story because he ended up diagnosed with the same thing that Bruce Willis has, and which is the reason why Robin Williams decided to take his own life, which is very sad. Bruce Willis, on the other hand, he's hanging in there, and he's got his daughters and his family that are taking care of him. But he's got a very different, rare form of dementia, is my understanding.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but it starts with an A, and it's unfortunate.
Alzheimer's?
Not Alzheimer's, no. It's a different type of dementia, So, but it messes with his memory and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
he forgets and all that stuff, and it becomes like something to like that for some older people. Like some of them get it and they diagnose into it, and they have a bad memory out of it. So usually some of them have to step away for that reason. Since you worked with other actors in past years, I mean, there was this one actor on Next Friday who happened to play for that movie. After that, I think like he died months later or during that time, but he was like the one guy that was like the skater guy or whatever he was. I forget his name, but he was the one that you guys had a good scene part with, like say, hey man.
you're referring to Justin Pierce.
Justin Pierce, yeah, that dude,
Played,
that British dude,
yeah, who played Roach.
Roach, yeah.
Yeah, and that was definitely heartbreaking news to hear. He passed away shortly after we finished filming. Matter of fact, Jacob Vargas called me a few months after we finished filming. They were doing a promotional gig over in Las Vegas. And apparently, Justin had gotten into a fight with his girlfriend, and he decided to take his own life.
Yeah, it was like, you would think he would still have many more to come, but I guess it just something happens. No, nobody can control what goes on with people's lives. It just happens.
It does, man, and every time I hear stories like that, it just saddens me because like I know how rough it is to be in the industry and try to maintain a relationship, and it's not easy. But I've never been driven to the point of wanting to take my own life because my relationships end. But unfortunately, Justin felt that was the only way out, and we were all saddened by it very much. So.
Yeah, and I know you were pretty saddened by John Witherspoon, but I think he was one of the funniest dudes by far.
John Witherspoon, yeah, definitely. It was a sad day when he passed, but I had such a great experience working with him on the set and listening to his insights of how his technique of performance, and he always had those little antidotes that he would say. So when we shot the scene where he knocks me out, he's like, I got an idea. I want to stand over you. Can I stand over you? And I'm like, yeah, sure, you can stand over. Just don't step on me, And that's when he, after he hits me with the 2x4 and I get knocked out, he comes on top of me and he goes, young man, you got knocked out. Walk out.
Yeah, that was the scene where he did knock you out of it, and he said that shit.
Yeah, exactly. But he came up with that. You know what I mean? Like that, like leaning over me, and so he was a brilliant man, and very giving, very loving, and it was just really sad to hear him pass. But but I celebrated John's life because John had a nice life. He really did.
Yeah, very. I mean, there was a lot of funny parts of him, like as an actor and comedian. Like there was just something about him. He kind of stood out for some reason.
Well, it was just his whole delivery of lines. Like I remember when I first saw him was on the Wayans Brothers, and he played Pops, same title in
Friday.
He was Pops. So he was Pops to all these young black artists in the industry, not just in the music industry, but also in the acting industry. And so they all looked up to him, and that's why he was, we all called him Pops. It was just a name that stuck with him.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, great actor for sure. I mean, Then you look at Mike Epps. He's kind of funny in his own rights.
Oh, Mike. So Mike came in next Friday because obviously Smokey or Chris Tucker didn't want to do a second one, and a lot of people think that he wanted too much money. No, it was just that he had turned Christian. Or
it's hard to go back to what you used to be, so he changed for better purposes.
Yeah, he became religious, and I respect that, but when they found Mike Epps, and the first day on set, he was just right off the dome, all these jokes, being funny, making fun of people, making fun of himself, I knew right away that this dude was gonna go places, man, because he was just the natural funny guy that he was. There's no way that he wasn't going to make it in this business, bro. He was hilarious.
Yeah, very hilarious in his own right. I mean,
and a lot of the lines that he delivers, are all ad lib. He came up with some of these lines. Actually most of them. Players fuck up too, man. They're 10, them 10s, but I keep them clean. Those lines, that's all him, bro.
He had to get creative with it too. So
absolutely,
yeah. Like you saw it with a lot of them. Even the guy who played Uncle Elroy, he had to be more creative too.
DC Curry.
That'd do something else.
I mean, they were all the chemistry between all of them because they're all comedians, and they come from the same background. It was easy for them to have that chemistry where they just fed off of each other and played off of each other, and it was a great honor to watch that live and in person.
Yeah, I mean, especially a lot of them that had good chemistry. Even before Bernie passed away, man, he was one of the funniest dudes.
Yeah, Bernie Mac, man, Bernie. I mean, and this is the reason why, because there were rumors that Cube was working on last Friday, a Final Friday, and the idea was that he wanted to bring all the characters from the first three into the Final Friday. But number one, a lot of the actors have passed away, especially Pops and Tommy Lister, who played Debo. And without them, I don't think it would be the same. I don't think it would be the same at all. So with that being said, Cube wasn't able to get it off the ground anyways because Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema, who owns the rights to the franchise, did not want to cooperate with them, So it didn't happen. And again, all these actors, Bernie Mac, John Witherspoon, Tyne Lister, Justin Pierce.
He had to fill those shoes because they made a huge contribution.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it would be the same anyway. So I wouldn't want to be part of a film franchise that a lot of the main actors are missing or gone,
Yeah, when it's majority of them, like majority of the big ones, that's the ones that you can't replace or duplicate what they did. So it's like John Witherspoon had a huge role. I mean, you look at guys like Bernie Mac on that one movie. He had an impact on that Friday as the pastor or whatever. That was the funniest one of them all. Like, how does he pulls up with Miss Parker and all that? That's just like
Miss Parker. Yeah, bro, that's hilarious, bro. Yeah, I'm very honored to be part of a franchise like Next Friday or Friday franchise, and it's an iconic one. And as you can see behind me, this is a fan art, and that's the Joker Brothers, all three of us.
Joker Brothers, yeah.
And and also I have my Next Friday up there. That's my backrest to my director's chair that I had on set. And on the other side is my name. So it's a nice memorabilia that I have here. This is my little wall of fame here, if you will.
Your little wall of fame or something in perspective, but you're still doing acting, but you did a couple of different show appearances, like one of those cop shows.
Oh, I mean, I've done a lot of cop shows.
Like you couldn't even tell the difference, but
so when COVID hit, it pretty much shut down the entire industry, and during COVID, I was able to book one gig, and that was on a show called Animal Kingdom. And it was a whole new world because going before you go on set, you had to get COVID tested like 3 different times, and then once you get on set, you had to get COVID tested one last time before you set foot on the set, and you had to wear masks, and you would only take the masks off when the director says, "Okay, mask off and action," and then you start doing your performance, and then as soon as he yells "cut," got to put the mask back on. So COVID shut us down and changed the industry forever. And then after COVID, last year we had the writer strike, and then the actor strike. And believe it or not, I still booked one gig. So I booked one gig in the last almost 4 years. I'm sorry, 2 gigs in the last almost 4 years. And so that first gig I did during COVID is called Animal Kingdom. And then I did a show on Netflix called, it was my first Netflix show. It's called Unstable, with Rob Lowe and his son John Owen Lowe, and that was a lot of fun. I'm a recurring character on that show.
Oh, that's good, man. At least you're still active. I mean, like you said, you've been going for 33 years and still strong. I mean, outside of the perspective industry, what does Rolando like to do as a person, man? Like, what is he all about?
I'm a family man, bro. I love I'm not married or have kids or anything, but I love my family. My family is the most important thing to me, which is why I'm actually going to be moving to Utah in a couple of months. My mom was diagnosed with a rare form of lung cancer last year, and I was just out there in Utah for about a month because that's where they live. And I seen everything they're going through, and I feel the need to be there. So I made that choice, that decision to move out there with them, and hopefully, spend as much time.
Yeah, prayers to her. Hopefully, she gets well and all that. That's all we could hope for. I mean, cancer's no joke.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know, but yeah, that's. I mean, and I'm a very chill dude, very down to earth. Just a lot of people, especially on TikTok. I mean, I got like 96K followers, and everybody's always telling me that they can't believe how down to earth I am and how humble I am, and that I actually talk to them. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, I'm a human being, and what I do for a living as an actor doesn't define the human being that I am. And I treat everybody with kindness, respect, and dignity because that's the way my parents taught me. So at the end of the day, when I come home, I got to worry about the same thing everybody else has to worry about. I got to pay my bills. I got to have food in my fridge. I got to have clothes on my back, and et cetera, et cetera. So, I feel like I'm in the same level as everybody else. I just happen to be an actor.
Yeah, you just have a top title. That's the only difference. But just from the looks of it, I can tell you're the kind of guy that can maybe be one of those dudes that go drinks a beer, talks some sports. I know that seems like, I could tell you're a Raiders fan. So tell me what got you into being a Raiders fan, man. Because it has to be like
beautiful flags. That's what you need behind you, bro. That thing is ugly as hell. The thing you got behind you, bro. That shit is one of the ugliest things I've ever in life, bro. But no, I'm definitely a sports fan. What got me into being a sports fan is my dad. My dad, big Lakers, Dodgers, and Raiders fan when we were kids because the Raiders were in LA at the time in the 80s. He took us to our first Raider game, me and my brother at the Coliseum, and me and my brother just fell in love with Raider Nation, And, and being a sports guy, there's sports trash talk. And that's what we do, bro. That's what we do.
Have a little fun, but some people get too soft on that, man. That's the thing.
They do. Like I put out a video on TikTok talking about I'm using some other guy's voice and talking about hey, the Niner game must have ran out of bullets because I don't hear no more bang bang. And bro,
it's a joke reference, but yeah,
bro. But there's so many of your fans that came for me, bro, and I was just like, guys, hey, you got me 10K views. Thank you for the viral video, but it's trash talk, and I'm wearing my Raider gear, and oh my goodness, some of these dudes like, man, F you, bro, you don't know anything, and I'm like, bro, all I know is that you guys choked at the Super Bowl the way I called it.
Yeah, the Chiefs. The Chiefs is what it is, man. Like,
bro,
Mahomes is who he is. So it's like,
And I exactly. And even though my team beat them at home on Christmas Day last
that's
year,
your bragging rights.
bragging rights right there, baby. We made Mahomes cry at home. But dude, listen. It's all, at the end of the day, it's all sports trash talk, and I don't take anything personal when it comes to sports trash talk. They call me the faders, the gators, which is all dumb in my opinion. But I mean, the name. I mean, you guys should do better. Come up with something better, bro. And but it doesn't get to. I don't allow it to get to me.
Yeah, I don't try to let it get to me mostly because, I get that all the time when I do joke reference to Cowboys or Raiders or any other fan base. But some of them kind of say, oh, your shit sucks. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm personal.
they take it way too personal, my guy, way too personal. But, there's always going to be people that are miserable, so you can't help that.
Yeah, but hey, you got that many followers kind of tells you how popular you are. But, takes time to grow content. But you said you're just like everybody else. You just happen to work a top title. So,
bro, you know what? I never expected to have so many followers on TikTok. I just go on there to have fun and to interact with my followers. And, like right now I'm selling merch and people have been responding like crazy. I've got a shitload of orders. I'm selling a shirt with Baby Joker image on it.
You might need to get one then if you might have to suggest me one.
Well, hey, bro, just inbox me on Instagram or TikTok because I'll give you all the details. I'm actually selling them along with an autographed pic. Oh wait, actually, I got it right here. Let me show you.
Yeah, I might need to order one from you, and plus, you're a legend. So yeah, I gotta get that one. Yeah. Okay,
so my boy Jacob and me, right? But it's this image of me on a shirt. And I'm signing these autographs, these pictures. I'm autographing them to send along with the shirts for every order that I get. It's only for the first 100 orders, and I'm already halfway there. So whoever needs to order, make sure you order soon. Actually, today is the deadline for the pre-orders because I was doing pre-orders, but I'm considering extending it only because I have a lot of people going, oh, I don't get paid till next week and this and that. I'm just like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll extend it for another week. So get at me, bro, and I'll give you all the info.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like, I gotta get that. I don't know. Like you said, you haven't got to your hundreds yet, so maybe I can.
Yeah. So I'm halfway there though. So
I gotta make it happen. But yeah, I'll just inbox you. I'll just find a way to get something done. But yeah, dude. Speaking of what you are, man, you're humble. You don't overlook anybody else. I mean, you're just like everybody else in all perspective. You know what I mean?
You know what, brother? Honestly, I owe it all to my parents and the way they brought me up. My mom, when I first started acting, she knows me better than anybody, obviously. And, she's like, I want you to remember something, she said. No matter how big you get in this industry, always remember where you come from and always stay humble. Yeah. Because as quickly as you rise, you can fall just as quickly.
Yeah, some of them may have big followers, but some of them kind of like forget where they come from. Some of them, but majority of them, like yourself, are the ones that kind of stay humble and remain the same.
Yeah, I just try to be me, bro. I just try to be me,
Yeah. Well, we pretty much covered a lot of stuff. Maybe down the road, maybe we can do something. Maybe like on another time. You definitely have a lot of good stories. Maybe you can give me some more stories, or maybe we can talk Niners or Raiders, or maybe like, yeah, I like the Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan.
Yeah, all right, bro. Sounds good, man. I mean, I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, for sure, bro. It's an honor. We got it done. Long overdue. We were kind of like making it happen, but your schedule was a little bit off, and I guess
crazy.
Yeah, things happen for a reason. But yeah, man. Go check out Rolando Molina. He has a huge follower on TikTok. And if you've seen Next Friday or American Me, then this guy played a huge role in some movies, That's for sure. But shout out to Rolando and everybody else, man. Thank you guys for tuning in and have a great day.